Hey Gearfacts friends, remember in the last installment I brought you a demonstration of Korg's new Modwave synthesizer, a really fantastic instrument, but I found it did a little bit too much for you. So what I've decided to do in this episode is sample some of its core sounds into the trusty PSR-E463 from Yamaha and see where it goes from there. Okay, and that's a strong start from the Modwave. Now, those of you who have a PSR-E463 will know that there is a very frustrating processing time after you've taken a sample. Processing takes longer than actually recording the sample. So we'll just reposition the camera, and the keyboard should be just about ready to give us the result. Sounds good. Let's try the expression dials. Okay, excellent. Now let's try a beat and switch on the arpeggiator. A simple example there, but it shows how quickly we can go from a basic sample to fairly complex music. I'll just save that sample. Samples can go up to about 9 seconds, so I'm going to use that entire time on this next one from the Modwave, which is an organ kind of sound. And we'll speed through the processing time. I think this one is going to sound pretty good. Drums and arpeggio again. Now with effects, you can add delay, but it comes at the price of the arpeggio. So you can't use an arpeggio with delay, but there are a lot of interesting ones to choose from. So just try to explore everything that the keyboard can do with these sounds. And as you're collecting samples, it's a good idea to make a bit of a list, because the keyboard will just number them, and that makes it a little bit hard to remember the personality and style of each sound. Here are some more Modwave sounds, and I'll tell you why these ones are problematic. They all sound great, but they're just too rhythmic, and this is going to mess with your styles and beats. Generally, you'll get better results from consistent sounds like this one. Didn't say it was a nice sound, it's just a consistent sound. And that might seem boring, but it actually gives you more versatility than you might think. Here's our unedited sample. And now I'm going to add some effects from the DSP section. So phaser and flanger there, adding some more character to the sound. And it's really worth layering your sounds with pre-existing tones on the PSR-E463. And remember, the dials can be assigned to the effect controls. They don't have to be cut off in resonance. And we've got a clear volume imbalance there. So I'm just going to run through the function menu and balance things out a little bit. I thought at that volume the sampled sound was a little bit melodramatic. Well, I'm moderately happy with that sound, but it's a good example of how you can incorporate your samples into the broader capabilities of the 463. Alright, next one. Good sample there, speed through the processing time again. Some sounds benefit from cutoff and resonance more than others, and this one really throws it out there, becoming very expressive. I just need to adjust the attack and release to make it a bit more natural sounding. Yeah, that one's really come up well. It sounds professional and it's showing plenty of versatility. Here's another organ sound, a little bit more spacey this time. Again, using up pretty much the whole 9 seconds of sampling. Now, a lot of people will say that sampling robs a sound of its realism or organicness, if that's a word. But I think in reality that can sometimes be a good thing. You have to be open-minded with your sounds, and sometimes things that aren't natural aren't necessarily bad. Anyway, we've got an eerie kind of science fiction organ sound there. I'm actually going to add another layer of organ from the PSR-E's sound bank, bearing in mind you've got something like 700 sounds to choose from. But in this case, I just want to make it extra organ-y. Yeah, that's a nice mysterious sound that I think could be really effective in the right place. Next up, a less predictable sound. Now, I did say that rhythmic sounds like that don't often work as samples, but I don't want you to close off any creative channels, so let's try one anyway. Well, that's come up about 100 times better than I expected. Yeah, that's superb. This next one's blended and arpeggiated with some piano. And to finish off, friends, I'm going to demonstrate what I think is the best sample I've ever done on the PSR-E463. This is a brilliant all-purpose sound. Check it out. By the way, I know that sounds like there's an arpeggio going on there, but this is actually all happening from the original sample. Ah yes, I'm so glad I pulled out the 463 again. It's a real classic among home keyboards. And I really question whether Yamaha realized how great this product was going to be. The potential is enormous, and in a lot of ways it's better than its bigger brothers, the PSR-SX series. Anyway, I'll be adding these samples to Dropbox, so check out the description to find the link to that. And thanks as always for watching Gear Facts. See you on the next one.